It is my great honor and pleasure to stand before you to ask for your support of House Bill 1868, which proposes to name a bridge on U.S. Route 219 in Brady Township, Clearfield County, as the Lance Corporal Robert Clyde Gontero Memorial Bridge. You know, when we have the opportunity to bring something like this to the floor, it always impresses me the human story that comes behind one of these recognitions. And so today we are joined by the family, but I'm not going to introduce the family because my colleague, Representative Dush, actually has a much more personal story to be able to offer. But I will say this: to be able to bring this forward is truly a recognition of what is important to the community and what is important to each and every one of us. As we stand here as Americans, we wouldn't be here without the sacrifice of those who have gone before, those who have paid the ultimate price. And Lance Corporal Robert Clyde Gontero did exactly that. And so on behalf of my constituency, on behalf of the 75th District, on behalf of the citizens of Brady Township, on behalf of the veterans organizations who have stood up and asked specifically for this bridge to be named in recognition of this great American hero, I ask for your affirmative vote, and I want to introduce at this time my colleague, Representative Cris Dush, to further speak on the human story behind this important recognition. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Cris Dush, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This might be a little hard. 50 years ago last July, an 8-year-old kid stood next to a casket. He told his dad, "Dad, Bobby's not dead. I see his chest moving." His dad told that 8-year-old kid, "Son, that's just the tears." I was that 8-year-old kid. Where Representative Gabler and I are from, 1969 was a little bit different from what we saw on the television. Our people knew and understood what our folks who volunteered, like Bobby Gontero, why they were going, why they raised their hands. He was killed in Quang Nam province while he was out on a patrol. When he came back, our communities got together. I'll never forget the line. He went in with a couple of his buddies. Bobby was a good cousin. He was also a bit of a prankster. One story, his mom was sick and his dad was on the road quite a bit, and he was staying with my grandmother, our grandmother. And if you knew my grandfather, big old guy, pretty gruff. But Bobby went and dumped all the sugar out of a dish one morning, filled it up with salt, and when my grandfather came back to put sugar in his coffee, it wasn't a pleasant scene. But everybody got a lot of laughs out of it. There are a lot of good stories that I can't really go into right now, but you know, it's the sacrifices that people make and the legacy of those people who put their lives on the line and sacrificed. It's one of the things that led me to get into the Air Force and to actually get into a position where I'd be carrying a weapon every day. It's what led me to volunteer to go to Iraq. It's the importance of these bridges. There's another story that I learned later Turns out Bobby had left another legacy right before he left. She's here with us today. His daughter, Robin.
Please stand.
Robin Nelson. Robin is here with her husband, Carl, and her daughter, Riley. And if you happen to come up and take a look at that photograph, and with Riley sitting there, you can't miss her for whose granddaughter she is. Robin has another daughter, Savannah, and it's the stories that we need to do. These the ways that we memorialize the people who have actually put their lives on the line, who have actually paid that price. We can't take things like this for granted. That's why I'm always there when my Legion and VFW guys are asking, and why we should be doing if we're going to be naming roads and bridges, it should be for people like this. People have actually sacrificed everything for us. I thank you for a unanimous vote in support of this bill.